Howdy YouTube, Phantom Outlaw coming back to you again here with another review. This time we're going to talk about, can you see what it is? Yes, that's a revolver. This is 44 Magnum. This is the Colt 44 Magnum. As you can see, it is empty, so we are doing with a safe firearm here today. My other reviews to this point have been on the semi-automatic handguns, but I'm still a fan of different types of firearms as well, certainly including revolvers. And this is one of the big ones here. It's certainly not the biggest anymore, but it is still a pretty big boom when you pull the trigger. So let's talk about the Smith & Wesson model 629. Alright, as usual, I'm going to go over a couple of the basic specs for you here. It is a 44 Magnum caliber. This does have a 4-inch barrel. Capacity is 6 rounds. The front sight is a red ramp sight. The rear sight is adjustable white outline sight. The grip is synthetic. It is a single and double action. It's a large frame. The finish is the satin stainless steel. The overall length on this is 9.63 inches. And the weight on it is 41.5 ounces. Wow, that's heavy. Now, what makes this so heavy? Well, pretty obviously, it's all metal, no polymer on this. It is a revolver, and it is stainless steel, so it's a heavy gun. As I mentioned when I just discussed it, as far as the sights go, it does have the red ramp sight and the adjustable rear sight as well. Definitely not for the faint of heart. This is a very big caliber handgun. You want to take a look at just the size. I don't know how well this shows up on the camera or not, but that's a big bullet that goes inside these handguns. So definitely something to be aware of if you're looking in the revolver market. 44 Magnum is a big one. Yes, it'll shoot the 44 Special as well. But for I'm not sure of too many people that shoot the 44 Special except for maybe some target practice, but in reality having the 44 Magnum available to you, whether you're going hunting or you need to have something on your body that you don't have to worry about penetration at all, or excessive penetration, or if you have bears or some wild pigs or anything like that that you're concerned about, this is certainly a stopper in that regards. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on here. This is the Smith & Wesson 629, kind of a relative of the model 2944 Magnum, made famous by, what was that guy's name back in the day? Oh yeah, Dirty Harry, and his 44 Magnum revolvers in the Dirty Harry movies back in the early 70s. So this is the big brother, I guess, of the model 29 from the Dirty Harry fame. Surprisingly, it's still a maybe not surprisingly to some of you, but it is a very, very accurate caliber. This is my second go at a 44 Magnum. I'm still kicking myself, but back in the day, back in the early 90s, I used to have a Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum with the 6-inch barrel. And maybe it's my memory playing tricks on me. It has been 20 plus years since I've shot it, but that was just an unbelievably accurate firearm. I know when they first came out, they were somewhat notorious for being inaccurate. I don't know exactly what year mine was made. I think it was, I'm going to guess 92 or 93, somewhere in that ballpark, so a few years after it came out. But I had zero accuracy issues with mine. That was a tack driver, no doubt about that. Unfortunately, I sold it a few years later as I made some other changes, and again, I'm kicking myself now, especially when you look at the value and the prices that they can go for these days. But so this is another 44 Magnum. I've had this one for a little while too. Really enjoy it. It's not something I shoot very often. Cost prohibitive as far as that goes, but it is a lot of fun to take out to the range. Certainly if you want to get people's attention, you pull the trigger on this and you get a lot of people turning their heads to see what's going on or what was the source of that sound. But it is an exciting gun to shoot. Obviously a much simpler firearm than an automatic, or in this regard semi-automatic, I guess. Not as many moving parts, but it is still a very simple gun, a lot of fun, something you want to take your time with. Not the thing you don't want to go out and expect to start driving some tacks the first time you shoot it. It does take a little bit of getting used to. whether it be in the single action or in the double action mode. But it can be a lot of fun. Definitely intimidating as well. You've heard me reference my wife and her experiences and some of my other reviews. And this is one that she has fired it, I believe, twice. And that is about the only time I ever expect to see her with this one. Not by my choice, by hers. She can shoot it, as far as I'm concerned, anytime she wants to. But she is not interested. The recoil, the power, the sound, everything, definitely an intimidation factor for her. Now, in another review, I'll talk about a 357, which she does shoot much more often. And that does not bother her as much, but there is a significant difference from the 357 Magnum to the 44 Magnum. So I guess that's maybe what the big deal is. But Smith & Wesson Model 629 44 Magnum, this is definitely one of the big ones. Can't go wrong with it. Very accurate. It's fun to shoot. When you pull this thing out and you're at the range and you're holding this thing up, you get people's attention with this, whether you want to or not. It is something that's going to make some noise and garner some attention. I've had it mistaken as its biggest brother now, the Smith & Wesson 500. I have not fired a 500. I have seen them at the range, but that's an even bigger one from this one. So not to be confused at all, this is not the 500. It's just the 44 Magnum. I say just. It's still pretty significant. But great gun to shoot. It's a lot of fun. If you ever have a chance to go out to the range and shoot some 44 Magnums, it's definitely something that'll get your attention. Back when I had my Anaconda, I had a buddy of mine who had a 454 Casull, Freedom Arms 454 Casull, which was just a slight notch bigger than the 44 Magnum. It only held 5 rounds in its chamber because of the size of it. And that particular revolver had a wooden grip, so it was a little bit firmer, I guess, a little bit less forgiving. And I will tell you, the handful of rounds that I shot through that, I think I probably shot 15 total. I think I went through 3 different cylinders on it. It was a little bit painful to the hand. That was definitely a very memorable experience in that regard. This is not quite to the same degree. Maybe it's the grip, maybe it's the lesser caliber, maybe it's a number of different things, but it's not a painful experience. I don't want to try to imply that at all, but it is something that definitely can get your attention when you're shooting it. One of the things I do like about it, it does have the red ramp front sight, and that comes important for target acquisition, sight acquisition. When you line that up, when you're lining up the red sight between the rear sight, it's something that's very easy to see. Again, it just makes for a more pleasant experience with this one, and it's something I carried forward. When I do my review here coming up at some point, I'll get one done for the 357. That one did not have a front sight that I liked at all, and so I went a little bit different route, but I went something similar to this one, and I think that this is a very good combination there. So Smith & Wesson Model 629 44 Magnum, it goes boom when you pull the trigger, and it's a lot of fun. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.